Hey everybody, Tom Olson here with Good Success, and we are going through the 30 Days to Good Success journey. Hopefully you've picked up your book. If you haven't, pick one up. And if you've already started working through the journey and you're on day 5 with us, think about who in your life you think might be able to use this. Who do you think needs to sit down and actually do some self-reflecting of where they're at right now, and maybe buy them a copy, or at least just tell them about Good Success and tell them about our challenges to you and our questions that we're asking you on a daily basis here to be able to help you, challenge you, support you, and help you get through life and help you reach your goals. Because if you don't know where you're at now, you're never going to figure out how to make a proper roadmap to where you want to become. So today we are on chapter 5 of this book. So I'll give everybody, get your workbooks out. Go to question number 5 on page 41 right here. What are you really good at? It's a question that we actually ask every one of our mastermind members every single time they come, because it's really hard for me and almost unfair for me to give you advice on what you should do, what's the next step you should take, what parts of your business should you hold yourself, and what parts of your business should you give away if you don't tell me what you're really good at. You might be really good at sales, but if you think that you should hire a salesperson and you should keep over the finance, it's probably not the best thing, because normally if you're really good at sales, you're really normally not good at finance. So as a business owner, a lot of times we have to be willing to delegate. And in one of those exercises that I recommend everybody do is write down everything that you do in your business, and then get a piece of paper and draw an X through the middle of it, a cross, just like this. And on the top line, put all the things that I'm really good at, all the things that I'm not good at, on over here on these 2 quadrants, and on these 2 quadrants down here or over here on this side, write the things I like to do and the things I don't like to do. Well, guess what? This top quadrant up here, things I like to do and things that I'm really good at, that's where we should be spending our time. But if you never spend a little bit more time prepping and figuring out what are those things that you're really good at, and what things do you really like to do, and what your personality is and how that all molds together, I believe that you were created for a purpose, on purpose, and you have unique experiences and unique likes and unique things about you that you're really good at, that you've been created to do. And if we don't know what those are, we never know how to put ourselves in those situations. So chapter 5 is designated just for you to reflect all day today. Spend as much time as you can today on what you're really good at. Again, we are a Christian company, and I'm even going to get into what I believe are the 7 spiritual gifts as well. So not only just knowing what you're good at skilled-wise and what your experiences are, what you like to do, but also what are the gifts that are God-given? What are the things that God gives us and says, hey, I created you like this, with this spiritual gift as well. You might have mental gifts and personality gifts, but also what are your spiritual gifts? So we're going to get into the chapter. So when you're talking about good success, and like I said, identifying what it is why you're placed on this earth, what your purpose is. I know a lot of people have commented and told me they're still struggling a little bit with that chapter number 1, and that's fine. This chapter, I think, can really start honing in on what you were designed to do, because you may not realize it, but you were created by an amazing creator who thinks that you matter. Thinks you matter so much that he gave his son for you, that you can come to heaven and be with him forever. But he's created you with experiences and gifts that nobody else has. So there's a lot of different things to look at. First of all, like I said, I want to get into those spiritual gifts. So what are those things that are God-given? I have a great example of a guy in my mastermind. And he was a teacher, and he was making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year as a teacher at a public school, and he kind of liked what he did, and he was good at it, but he just wasn't making the kind of money he wanted to make. So he found real estate, and he realized, oh my goodness, I did 2 flips, and I made way more money in those 2 flips on the side than I made my entire year being a teacher. So he stopped everything he was doing as being a teacher, and rushed into real estate, only to find out in 2 or 3 years that really wasn't what he wanted to do. But I told him one time, I said, hey, Max, you are a teacher. This is a God given spiritual gift. You have the gift of gab. You have the gift of being able to take something that you've learned from someone else and be able to share it in a way that people can understand and you can articulate it easily and they can understand it easily. So that's a gift. That's something that God's given you, and you need to run with that somehow. And ever since that light bulb clicked in his mind, now he's a consultant, and now he's teaching. He's taking information in and trying to be a conduit of that information. So for starters, we all have spiritual gifts. Just so you know, we may have a little bit of all of these, but we always will have a couple of these that we are a lot stronger in, and we may be weak in some of these that we're just not that good at. I'll give you some examples of myself as we go along. So, first of all, the gift of prophecy. And the gift of prophecy, only about 10% of people actually have this gift of prophecy, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a prophet and I'm going to, I'm going to tell you your future. I don't believe that those gifts actually really exist. I believe you can tell what somebody's future is by, number one, reading the Bible and what it says it is, but number two, like, what are they doing on a daily activity? What are they spending their money on? That's going to tell the future more than just like some weird thing that might happen. But the gift of prophecy means that you can minister to others. No, I'm sorry, that's the gift of service. But the gift of prophecy are the people in your life, and you might have had a mother like this or a father like this, that are willing to tell you the tough things, that are willing to look at your life or look at a situation and not always be super nice and kind and fuzzy about it, but they're normally the people that poke holes in all of the things that you say. You might say, "Oh, I know a lot of those people." No, a lot of times people are just opinionated. They don't really have the gift. They don't really have that like God-given discernment to see through situations. So again, like, it's not a very highly given gift. This is only about 10% of the people out there will have this gift of prophecy. This next gift, the gift of service, is number 2, and that's probably where most people lie. The gift of service is kind of the gift of ministry, or the gift of just being a servant to whoever it is. And a lot of times people say, "Hey, I just want to serve and I just want to make people happy, and that's what makes me happy." And if that's the case for you, that, more than likely you have at least some of this gift of service. The next gift is the gift of teaching. Gift of teaching could be one that maybe you're a good writer, or maybe you're a good communicator, or maybe you can articulate things in a way that people can understand them and people want to listen to them. Maybe you're great at creating a lesson or planning. A lot of times teachers are good at planning. So think about that. Maybe that's your gift. The gift of giving. This is something I love to do. I love to give. And actually, sometimes I'm with people and they tell me, "I don't know why it's so easy for you, but it's hard for me. It's hard for me to actually have something and want to give it to other people." For me, I don't know why, but I feel like God's given me the gift of giving. And I feel like God's also, we talked about teaching. I enjoy teaching, and I think that I'm probably better at writing maybe than articulating and doing these videos for you. But I do enjoy it, and I do think that I in a way I was created for this to a certain degree. And maybe I'll grow into that more, but I do love giving. Giving is definitely one that I enjoy, and I think that I was created for. And I think it's kind of obvious what the gift of giving is. It's just, is it easy for you to give? Do you naturally look to the needs of others, and naturally not just look at the needs of others to just know that there's a need, but look at how you can be a help? And I think that's the gift of giving. Gift of encouragement. That's pretty easy to understand as well. There are people that are created just to be an encouragement to other people. This is another gift that I think that God's given me. When you think about people in the Bible, like Barnabas, that was just there, and he was always that person that was lifting up somebody else. The Aaron and Hur people that was always lifting up people of other people. So are you that type of person? I'm not saying everybody is. Everybody's not naturally these gifts. I think every one of us should be striving for all of these, but we always have one or two of these that we kind of are more prone to be. So the gift of encouragement, the gift of organization. This is honestly, you might think about me and say, hey, Tom, you have 7 companies and you have all this stuff going on and you help other people with their businesses. And maybe, because I am good at planning, people might think that I actually have this gift of organization, but I don't. I am not a naturally organized person. I have to work very, very hard at being organized, and I have to put people around me that are very organized, and the people that are around me that are very organized make me look really organized and make me look really good. But the gift of organization, a lot of people laughed, and they say, this can't be in the Bible. I'm like, yes, it is. This is a gift of organization. And then the gift of mercy, the gift of naturally, my daughter Edie is like this, and the gift of just naturally being inclined to feel sorry for people, not feel sorry, but to have empathy. Now, I have empathy, but it's very hard for me, for instance, to go into a hospital and know what to say. I just kind of want to be there with people. I just want to listen. I'm good at listening, but I'm not necessarily good at really having that natural empathy. I want to help. I want to be a helper. I want to, be the person that gives them what they need, but I don't know how to this is probably one of my weaker ones, honestly. But there's people around me. There's people in my office. I know people that work for our church. Some of the people that are assistant pastors that go to the people in the hospital, for instance, normally would have this gift of mercy. So think about those and those 7 gifts. And I'm going to kind of challenge you guys to do some more things. There is a free DISC profile, and I don't have one, but you can go to TonyRobbins.com, and he has a pretty good DISC profile. DISC stands for dominance, influence, steadiness, and concentration, and those different things, and those different how high you are in those different things. For D, I'm pretty high on D, fairly low, like a 30 on I, and then I kind of go back up to about 45, 50 on the S, and then I'm a little bit higher, like C on the about 60% on the C. So everybody's gonna have a little bit of a different DISC profile, and I would encourage you to take that personality profile. There's Enigmagram you can go take. There's tons of other ones. Another one I really like to do in our office, and I challenge you to do, is the 16 personalities. So go out and figure out what you are. I will tell you I am a protagonist when it comes to the 16 personalities. It's a free profile you can do online as well. And I'm just encouraging guys to just go to all those different places and learn about yourself, and then kind of write down here, hey, what do you think your spiritual gifts are? So it's in page number 45. What do you think your spiritual gift is? I actually have some questions that you can answer in this, and that's the number 1, number 2, number 3 on the top. But write down what you think your spiritual gift is, and on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe you rank yourself on every single one of those ones. And then when do you use your spiritual gifts? How can you maybe use those more? How can you look for more ways to be an encouragement if that's who you think you are, or to organize, or to have mercy? And then where do you use those, and how do you use those, and how effective are you on a scale of 1 to 10? I think something else that's important when it comes to gifts and spiritual gifts and personalities and things that you're really good at is to have team meetings. When you're having team meetings in your business and at your home, ask other people, hey, what do you think I'm really good at? It doesn't have to be necessarily a spiritual gift, but hey, what is it do you think I'm really good at? What do I do for this company that you think is the most valuable thing that I can do for this company? We do this often in our quarterly meetings or yearly meetings when we're doing team health, and we're saying, hey, let's go around the room, and we're going to have every single person at this table tell every other person at this table what they think they bring the most value by this one thing. What is the one thing that brings the most value from Tom or from Dan or from Becky or from Heather? So whatever it is. So get some feedback from other people, and I'll even challenge you to do this. Have somebody else do one of these profile tests on you. So to get out the 16 personalities and say, hey, answer all these questions for how I am perceived, and then you can kind of take all that information in and say, hey, maybe I think this is what I am, but I'm really not. I'm really this, or maybe you really are what you think you are. but other people are perceiving you in another light. And that can also help team health, and that can also help you and help them maybe talk through those things and say, hey, why do you think that I'm perceived as that? And it can also help you grow in a way or in a manner in which you believe that would be a better way to be able to live life and to come across to other people. So I hope this helps you today on question number 5. What are you really good at? I think this is very important to know what you're really good at. And I think this will help you realize why you were created, which is the whole reason for good success, in my opinion, is to know what that purpose is and to fulfill that purpose. And I'm hoping and I'm supporting and challenging you to be the right person, doing the right thing for the right reason, with the right people, for the right amount of time. And I think the first step of all that is knowing yourself. And the more you know yourself, I believe the more you can know God, and the more you know God, you can know yourself. It's kind of vice versa. We were here, the whole law was wrapped up into 2 commandments: love the Lord thy God with all thy might, and number 2, which is like unto the first, love thy neighbor as thyself. And there's no way you can love your neighbor as yourself unless you know yourself really well. And I think that'll help you today. So getting along through the 30 days of good success. I hope to see you back here tomorrow for day number 6, which is a tough one. I'm going to tell you, day number 6 is one of the toughest ones of the entire book. It might take you more than a day. I'm just going to warn you. It's a big one, and it's something that I think is very, very important. It's honestly what holds many entrepreneurs back. It's what holds many people back to fulfilling their purpose. So please don't miss day number 6. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.